Hi, and welcome to this SlideFab video. I'm Jens Hühn, and in this video I would like to show to you the 5 export modes of SlideFab, which are about creating PowerPoint charts automatically. Well, actually there is a 6th one, which is based on ThinkCell, a separate software, but this video is not about ThinkCell. So, 5 export modes for chart automation. This is quite a lot. So basically we have the PowerPoint chart, which takes Excel data and puts it into a PowerPoint chart. Then we have the ability to take a screenshot from Excel and put it on the PowerPoint chart. Then there is the link chart, which is basically Excel and PowerPoint technology, and SlideFab cuts the cord. There is the indirect chart, which is also taking a picture of Excel shapes or charts and puts it into PowerPoint. And finally, there is the Excel chart export mode, which recreates the chart in Excel in PowerPoint from scratch. So that are the 5 different options. This was quite fast, but I would like to walk through this in the video and explain to you how it actually works and how you can use these features for your own purposes. Well, SlideFab is about PowerPoint mass production. So the idea is basically, and this is just a small recap, the idea is that you have one template, one Excel model, and you can create lots of PowerPoint slides or even presentations automatically. And if you don't like them, you change the settings and you recreate it. So it's about creating a loop for this kind of mass production. For example, consider a benchmark or a survey. Once you have the results and you want to create individual decks, maybe for the different countries involved, Germany, France, Spain, and so on, you would like to create one template, build the Excel model, and then SlideFab would create decks for all of these different countries automatically. No need to create 20 copies of Excel models and link 20 presentations. This is not what SlideFab is about. SlideFab is about the mass production. So if you would like to learn more about the mass production idea, I would like to recommend a different video, because this is just about the charts. Well, that's basically it. I would like to walk you through these charts, and later on there is a small recap to discuss what's actually making sense and what's not making so much sense. So enjoy the video. Alright, so let's go. For the sake of the video, I will just create an empty template presentation within PowerPoint. And there's no real magic included at this point in time. So an empty presentation with a title and a chart will be fine. At this point in time, the numbers are not important. I will come back to this later on. What's more important now is to change the format to have the chart not looking in the default mode for the sake of illustration. So I will remove some numbers here on the left hand side, remove the lines, and add data labels. Then I will also change the coloring and make this a very unique chart, which is not a default chart, and I will show you why this is important for the video. You will create the charts as you like, obviously. The chart is set up now. In order to connect it to Excel, I need to get the data structure for this chart, and I will get it here from the Edit Data embedded worksheet, copy it into the clipboard, and then switch over to Excel. And there I just need to paste this structure into an empty workbook. This video is basically about the export mode, so I will take a shortcut here regarding the Excel model. Instead of building a whole loop for the automation, I will just put in some random numbers that the charts change and that the sake of illustration here is fulfilled. So that are the random numbers, nicely formatted as percentages, and that's the whole Excel model for the beginning. So the next step is to connect the PowerPoint presentation template with this Excel workbook. So I'll go to the SlideFab ribbon and connect this presentation with this Excel workbook, and yeah, that's the connection. The first and most likely most intuitive export mode here, which we will look at, is the PowerPoint chart export mode. So this is only about connecting the chart which we just created with the underlying Excel range on the left. So I select the chart, go to slide linking, and as the chart is selected, the right export mode was chosen by SlideFab automatically, and here I can't change it because anything else doesn't make sense. I select the Excel range and connect the chart with the range using the crosshair icon. Yeah, so this is it, and we can start making some slides easily. So here we will see that the chart updated with the numbers from Excel will look differently than the chart in the template slide because we are having random numbers in here. Yep, this works. So let's proceed to the next export mode. And for this export mode, we will create a new slide and go to a very basic export mode, which is the screenshot. I mean, it's so basic that it just takes an Excel range and will put whatever it is within this Excel range into a PowerPoint shape. So it's very basic, and all it creates is a picture. However, we would like to have a screenshot of a chart like this, and in order to take a screenshot from this chart, we need to recreate it in Excel. To create the chart, I go to Insert, add the recommended chart here, which is a bar chart, fortunately, and I will receive a very nice and shiny Excel chart, which looks quite different from the chart on the right hand side. And in order to recreate this chart, I don't want to take all the effort. But there is a great way to do this. Here is the Save as Template option for the PowerPoint chart, where I can save this slide design on the hard drive. And this is really great because saved in PowerPoint, it can be applied to Excel as well. So I go here to the Chart Design tab and change the chart type to the one which I just saved. Real huge time saver, and definitely a recommendation to bring PowerPoint chart designs over to Excel. As we are taking a screenshot of this chart and the underlying cells, I will take a detour here and choose maybe not the smartest option, but I will switch the grid lines from black or gray color to white color to make this chart look a little more shiny once it's getting taken photographed. And having said this, I will add a target shape over in the PowerPoint presentation, and for this target shape I will select the Excel range, and that it works, I just need to switch the export mode over to screenshot. Very simple. I will set the aspect ratio to be kept and horizontally aligned in case that the range needs to be resized. And that's it. I can start making the slides and have a look at the screenshot export mode. So here is the result. As there were random numbers involved, the charts look differently, of course. And for the screenshot export mode, we see that we still have some grid lines at the bottom, so the range wasn't set properly, and we have a resize of the image, which makes sense because the aspect ratio was kept. And as this is an image, it's basically a dead end. It cannot be changed afterwards, but in combination with some numbers or conditional formats in Excel, this has also its place. So let's get to the next export mode on a new slide. And as we are having the chart already in Excel, we can use the linked chart export mode, which is provided by PowerPoint basically for free. All we need to do is to copy the chart from Excel and paste it within PowerPoint as a linked chart. So the benefit is that the data linking is done by Excel automatically. And as you can see on the left hand side in the export mode, there is only the linked chart option available. So let's have a look at this link which was just created. And as you can see here, it's on slide number 3 with its IDs and the link to the Excel workbook. This is an active link now, which will be updated through SlideFab automatically while making slides. So I will show you. SlideFab is creating the slides now. And now within the output presentation, the slide linking window will look slightly different because of the fact that SlideFab cut the link. The path to the workbook is changed to null. So any change in the data won't affect this chart in the output presentation. So let me show you. Here I'm in Excel and I update the numbers, and as you can see, the charts changed both for Excel and the template, but not for the output presentation. This chart is steady now. All right, let's get to the fourth export mode, which is called the Indirect Shape Export Mode. And as the name suggests, it's not only meant for charts, but for shapes in general. So as before, I'm just creating the target slide with an empty shape to put the chart into. And now I choose the export mode. And the special thing is that I'm not referring to the Excel chart directly, but using a cell with its name. As the chart will be put into the PowerPoint presentation as a picture, I can choose the resizing option again, and of course the horizontal and vertical alignment. So let's create the Excel source range, which is a little tricky here because I just need to refer to one cell, and this cell needs to contain the name of the chart given its worksheet. So here we are on sheet 1 and we connect it, as it's typically done with a range, concatenated with the chart name, which is here in this case chart 1, but you can rename it obviously, but then the cell A9 which contains the chart name needs to be changed as well. So I'm referring to this name in the cell A9, and this is basically it for the indirect shape export mode, and I can let SlideFab create the charts once again. Alright, so here is the created output slide containing a picture as expected. Unfortunately, the setting wasn't perfect yet, and the picture is a little off the page. But, I mean, this can be changed easily. Last, but definitely not least, we come to the Excel chart export mode. The setup is as before, target slide with a target shape, but now it's pretty easy. Just select the Excel chart and click the crosshair symbol for the Excel source range. And then the appropriate name will be inserted. Afterwards, the export mode needs to be changed to Excel chart, and the resizing and alignment buttons are available as well. So this is it. Let's have a look at the output. So the real benefit of the Excel chart output mode is not that it looks differently on the first peek, The benefit is underneath, because what was created here is a real PowerPoint chart based on the chart in Excel, and you can edit it and even change the color of any item as you wish. So let's do a small comparison of the created output slides with the different kind of charts here. One thing you might recognize is that the charts look slightly different regarding the numbers. This is nothing to worry because we used the random numbers in here, so this explains why the charts are not all the same. But let's look at the technical differences between these charts. So this is the first chart created as a PowerPoint chart where the data range was updated through SlideFab. And as you can see here, SlideFab put in the numbers and you could edit and change this chart as you like. Then we have the screenshot, which is just a picture, and we have the link chart, which is a chart object as well, and you can edit it. But there's one issue. Once you cut the cord and you break the link, you cannot edit the data afterwards, which is really a pity. Here we have the indirect shape, which is again an image, which cannot be changed. So the Excel chart looks comparable to the PowerPoint chart because we can edit the data as before. The difference is that SlideFab copied also additional information from the original workbook in Excel to this data range over here. This helps to adjust the data afterwards if required. Even though the PowerPoint chart and the Excel chart export modes look rather similar here, it's important to understand that the Excel chart export mode is more powerful. As it is based in Excel, there are certain differences which cannot be used when trying to add the data into a PowerPoint chart. For example, dynamic ranges or scatter plots with named labels are not possible with the PowerPoint chart export mode. And so there is a clear indication that once there is more than a bar chart basically, it makes sense to switch over to the Excel chart export mode in case that an editable chart with underlying data needs to be created. Well, welcome back. This was this explaining video, and at this point in time I would just give a small recap and some advice on how to find the right export mode. So first of all, you need to decide whether you want to have a screenshot or a real chart in PowerPoint. If you opt in for the screenshot, you go either for the screenshot option or for the indirect chart option. And if you would like to have a chart, it's the PowerPoint chart, link chart or Excel chart export mode. And between these three, the decision is whether you need to edit the data afterwards or not. If you don't need to edit the data afterwards, you can go for the link chart, which is very helpful. And if you would like to edit the data, it's the PowerPoint chart or Excel chart. My personal recommendation is to go for the Excel chart export mode because it recreates the chart in PowerPoint from scratch based on how your chart looks like in Excel, and you have full control, even all data on board in PowerPoint. So this is definitely very helpful. So my personal recommendation as well, go to slidefab.com, download the light version and the example files and have fun with it and play around, learn what you get from it and how SlideFab can help you through slide mask creation to save quite a lot of time and effort. Yeah, this is it. See you on slidefab.com.